Welcome. So we are here. I have Christy Hart, and this is a little mini edition of extension of the Inner Dominatrix podcast, but live on video. Well, live-ish. We tried to go live, but the technology just wasn't going to work, right? But we definitely want to bring you the confidence hacks that we promised, and so we're going to dive into that, get you some confidence hacks, get you really stepping into that inner dominatrix, the energy of the dominatrix, so that you can own your authentic confidence. Not the bullshit, not the pretend, but the authentic stuff that makes you compelling and attractive to people, clients, to things and upgrades and all kinds of free goodies, right?
Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this really does just take every day to the next level. I mean, you wake up a little different. People ask you questions like, how do you do that? You get service where others can't get service. You get VIP treatment. There's just all kinds of things that open up for you, big and small.
Mm-hmm. Well, and many things like, I don't think I've shared this win with you, but so I started full time in this, and August was my first 10K month.
Yay! Congratulations! That is so huge.
Yeah,
That
8
is
months.
so huge.
8
Heck
months,
yeah.
right?
And
Yeah,
that's an 8 months of
right.
full focused confidence and commitment. Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Right.
the
So
way to do it.
that's the thing. I know you've talked about getting
Yeah.
first class upgrades, freebies, VIP rooms, like all kinds of upgrades, just because you
Just being
asked,
you.
or
Just
just being
being
you.
you. You don't even
Sometimes you
have
already
to
have.
ask.
Yeah,
You
I
don't even
know.
have to ask. That's the
Yeah.
great thing about all of this. That's why, I think it's so important that we share what we've learned, because every woman deserves to be treated like a queen. Every
Mm-hmm.
woman deserves to have this dominatrix energy and to get the VIP upgrades and to get the men, following her and texting her and hoping to have any
The
kind of
good
time.
men,
The quality men.
quality men,
That's the
right?
difference too. Yeah.
Yes.
A
And
lot of
quality
women
doesn't.
get scared about that they're going to scare off men. You don't scare off men. You scare off boys, and the quality men stick around because they
That's
want to see what's going
right.
to happen next.
So true. Because and I just want to quantify. I know you use the term quality men, and so often people think that means somebody rich, but it doesn't
Oh,
necessarily mean that. Like for me, my husband, he was looking for a strong woman. That was his thing. He was looking for a strong woman. So the quality men, the men who will treat you like a queen, that's my definition of quality man. A man who will
yeah.
treat you like a queen. They're
I
looking for a queen.
Exactly. And I think we all have different definitions of quality men. And for some women, having somebody who's super successful financially is a quality man. And for other women, we have different areas that we're looking for, especially if we make our own money. We might not necessarily need a rich man, but we need a man who's going to be highly supportive and is going to understand busy work
Mhm.
schedules and is really going to be on our side, and somebody who has our back.
Yes. Yes. So, okay, so we're kind of getting a little sidetracked on the topic. I know we just diverge and go into these
Ah,
things, but we want to pull it back to the confidence, because
yes.
I know you and I are really aligned on this, that the training to become a dominatrix, who you have to become, you really have to learn very quickly how to step into that confidence, and learning some hacks, learning some tricks and some ways to get into it in a really quick way. Because when you're in that dungeon in front of that submissive, they need you to be there. They need you to be confident, and it can't be half-assed. It's got to be authentic.
No, because it's one thing when you're looking at somebody saying, oh, that person's confident. But when you're alone in a room with somebody for 3 hours, you can't wear a mask the whole time. It's got to
Yeah.
be authentic. It just has to.
Yeah.
It has to come from the inside. It has to be a belief that you have
Right.
about yourself and about, what you're doing in there
Yeah. And
or
then
in the world.
absolutely. And just before we get to the hacks, because I do want to get that for people, because
Yes.
they need these little tricks and things that they can implement right now, today,
Mm-hmm.
before they come to the workshop. But I want to kind of map out the bigger picture, right? Because these are hacks, and they're kind of, a little tiny up level. But if people are really looking to make that big jump in the confidence where they can really up level the quality of partner that they're bringing in, the income level, that bigger picture. Like, let's map out for them what that's really going to take. Because honestly, just watching this video is going to give you a lift, yes, but it's not going to change your whole fucking life. Sorry. Oops.
We're definitely here to give you all the boost that we can, but we need more time if we're really going to get you to a much higher level.
Right. Yeah. And for me, I really see that it's like such a big part of that is getting out of that constant loop of self-judgment.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Right? Because that's where you start, those behaviors that hack away your confidence, doubting yourself, second guessing yourself, and that little monkey mind is just,
oh yeah. Well, it's kind of hard to be confident when you have something buzzing in your ear the whole time telling you, whatever it is that's playing in your head that's not helping you reach that next level, whether it's that you're not the right body shape or that, you're not doing this right, you're not enough in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Any of that is just not going to help you reach that next level when you have an inner hater just kind of replaying all of these things and hitting on things that these are pain points for you. Yeah. And your inner hater knows where your pain points are, and that's their game.
Him. Yeah.
I know. That's the game.
And they know it because they've been with us all this time, right? So it's like real easy. They're like, oh, look, that creed. Oh, let me push that again. Ooh, let me push that again. Ooh, that good. Right?
Yeah.
Nasty, evil haters.
I know. Well, and then, when it's living inside your own head, what are you to do? And that's going to really, really dampen your confidence. And I mean, you can get the posture and you can go walking around, but if you still have that inner hater in your ear, just mouthing off about all the ways you're not good enough, well, it's going to be really hard to reach that next level. We all look for support when we're moving forward. And if you can't make your inner hater a supporter, you need to gag it and put it in the back room.
That's right. Put a ball gag on that. Send it out back. It's so true. And it's, it's to recognize that, okay, this is a process. It will take time. Whatever techniques you're doing, whether you're actually working with somebody like Christy or myself, or whether you're, using some amazing self-help tools, but you've got to stay with it, to stay the course, and that it's a muscle that's being developed over time.
Yeah.
So to not expect it to just go from 0 to 60 all at once, right? I like to get just a bit of a realistic, because there's so much hype out there, right?
Oh yeah.
All this.
Tomorrow you'll you'll be twice as confident tomorrow.
Yeah. It's like, okay, we have hype in everything. Like, oh, lose 20 pounds in 10 days and make 6 figures in 60 days. And, there's all these, like be 10 times more confident in 10 seconds. It's crazy. But the reality is if you just stick with something and keep at it, it makes a big difference. I had this great analogy that popped into my head this morning during a coaching call. You've probably seen the thing. They say to you, would you rather have $1 million today, or if I give you a penny today that doubles every day for the next 30 days, which would you rather have?
Oh, love that. I'll do the penny. I like compound interest.
You've seen this.
No, I was an accountant.
Oh, yes. Okay, so you know that.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. And what's interesting is that, if you look at it on a graph level, right, the 30 days, it doesn't look like it's doing much, not doing much. And then about day 26, it starts to come up. Day 27, 28, it's all going skyrocket. And the 30 days, you're up over $5 million.
30, yeah. That's amazing, right?
For doubling it.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I like to get people to think about in terms of, your compounded efforts. So
I love that. Yeah, because we really are. Yes, these are little techniques that we're showing you today. We do have ways to fast track this and get you, huge results, but this is going to take your effort and it's going to take your practice. And some of these techniques, for me to stay interested, I'm a bit ADD. So to keep my attention, things have to be fun. So a lot of the techniques that I employ in my personal life that I'll be teaching, they're a lot of fun to do. Yeah, because I have to keep my inner child entertained at all times.
Absolutely. And it's so important to stick with it. And I love the fun. I love making people laugh because laughter helps to break up the significance.
Oh, yeah.
And when you stop making it significant, then this little gremlin thing doesn't have as much of a hold. Right?
Yeah. And we can
And
go into that. I mean, as the first, confidence hack, let's talk about that inner hater and how you address them.
mhm.
Because the truth is to stop and think that inner hater, well, that's just really rude. If somebody was on the street yelling those things at you,
You'd
you
be
would
like,
not
what?
you would not accept that. But because they're in, your own mind, you might be more apt to listen. No, that's an inner hater. And just taking it aside and saying, okay, is this something normal? Is this something that I might actually hear somebody say? And usually the answer is no.
Right.
I mean,
Would your girlfriend say that to you?
yeah,
No.
no. And then the second part of the inner hater is to ask them, ask if it's true. Is what they're saying even true?
Hmm. In fact, I love taking that, playing on that and having an evidence journal so that you can like, you know what? I have a whole book of evidence that shows that you're a big fat fucking liar.
Yeah,
Let me show you the proof.
right
Because they
here.
are. They make stuff up. And
Love
to
it. And it's
realize
in
that
a
they make
book.
stuff up. Exactly. So it must be true. Only thing better is if you saw it in Facebook.
Yeah, if you saw it in Facebook, then it's definitely true.
Gotta be true, right?
Yeah, yeah, but that inner hater will get you down, and just a couple of ways of dealing with them. Deal with them like you would a normal person. Question what they're saying. Question their methods and the way that they're speaking to you.
Mm-hmm.
All of those things are going to help when you separate that inner hater and start to realize, wait a minute, that might not be me necessarily. That's an inner hater, and let me deal with it as such.
Yeah. Yeah. And, this is like, obviously, when we do, of course, this is leading up to our Bulletproof Confidence weekends, right? Where we're going to spend 2 days, you and I, both the combined skill set that we have,
Yeah.
the combined efforts and knowledge and years of working with clients, is tools that you have are different from tools that I have. So it's like really powerful. Anyway, we just get so excited when we start talking about this. Like,
Right.
I go all crazy. And then, but I wanted to let people know, so to get a feel for, the little tools that we're giving you here are nothing. Like these are like little 5-minute segments. We're gonna have 2 full days of diving deep into it.
Yeah.
Not just like surface. We're skimming the surface here. I want you to know. But when we start diving in, you gotta think like, how much are we able to actually integrate that into your body? And that's the thing. So take these tools. If you're gonna work with them on your own, you gotta start integrating them into your body, into your life. Make them part of who you are.
Yes,
That's the beauty.
absolutely. On a day-to-day level, because it's one thing, we read these blog posts and there's 10 ways to change your life, and you read all of them and you're like, oh my God, that would work. And oh my God, that would work. And then 10 seconds later, like a goldfish, I don't know about you, but I forget something shiny.
Oh, look, another video.
Yeah. And unless we actually implement these things.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about 2 days, spending 2 days with us, this is 2 days where we'll actually be able to help you learn to implement these things on a day-to-day basis. So you'll be able to see, when you start that train of thought, all right, let's pull the stop handle on that train of thought and let's move towards this.
Tackle it, change it right then and there, right?
Interrupt your cycles. Yes.
Integration right then and there.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I want to share, another hack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Because it's about more hacks, right? So my hack, which I actually sent out to my email list. So if you're not on my email list, let me know. We'll put you there. But this is great for if you are looking to get a raise or you're looking to raise your rates as an entrepreneur. So let's say you want to change how much you're getting paid for speaking, for instance. Okay. And we're just going to take some arbitrary numbers and say, okay, right now you charge $2,000 for speaking. and you want to be charging $5,000. Now, provided that on the outside you have the skills and you have, good speaking and, you've done the training and you can actually back it up with the goods, right?
Right.
So that aside, let's say right now you're grossly undercharging and you need to be raising it up. All right. So what you're going to do is you get a hold, I should have brought them with me. I should have brought some props. We'll have to imagine props in front of us. So grab a salt shaker and a pepper shaker. Put them in front of you, a little ways in front of you. They don't need to be, right close together, but a little ways in front of you. And you're going to just, with authority, point to the salt shaker and say, that is a salt shaker. And then point to the pepper shaker. That is a pepper shaker. Then point to yourself. I charge $5,000 for speaking.
Nice.
Now, I can say it with confidence because that's where I'm at. But if it's the first time that you're doing it, it's probably going to be really shaky. It's going to be, that's a salt shaker, that's a pepper shaker. I charge $5,000. You may want to throw up and be like, "Ugh."
Oh yeah.
Right? But
yeah.
you want to keep going around until this, I charge $5,000 for speaking, is neutral.
Boom. Yeah.
And then when you're talking to somebody who, who's looking to book you and they say, how much is it? You just, $5,000.
And you can say it with the same reality as that's a pepper shaker, that's a salt shaker.
Yeah, and it's also like you're looking for that neutrality so that there isn't the bugaboos about the money.
Yeah.
We have
Can you hear that?
puppies in the background.
I even put him like 2 rooms away.
Get a good pair of lungs. But
yes.
we're looking for not just the confidence, but we're also looking for the zero charge so that they're not picking up on your money stress.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? So keep going around until you clear it. And it's just as much of a, like, that's a salt shaker. The sky is blue. The grass is green.
It's true because, I have to, when you're bringing a new product to the marketplace or when you're bringing yourself to a new marketplace or to a new level, there is that sort of a shakiness at first.
Yep.
And, I have to warn my clients that you don't go in hungry. You do not go in hungry because people can sniff that out miles and miles away. You can't do it. That exercise really helps, especially since it doesn't require you to make money before you go and ask for more money. It just requires you to have a solid understanding of a salt shaker and a pepper shaker and of where you want to be. I love that. I love that.
And you can pick anything. Like you can pick, but it's just, those are just 2 everyday items that have no charge for anybody. Unless, of course, you have a heart condition and you can't have salt, maybe that'll have a charge. But then pick the sky is blue and the grass is green. Doesn't matter. But you want to be able to point to something, feel that, just like that is. It's a statement. That's a salt shaker. That's a pepper shaker. I charge $5,000.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
And that's really going to help women reach the next level when it comes to business. Women, we generally undersell ourselves. And I was reading some articles over the weekend about women who sell. And one of the things that they were saying, especially in consulting, is that this happens time and time again. A woman will tell somebody her price. And then if the potential client even pauses for a moment, she'll automatically offer 50% off.
Yeah. And it's more than that. Like recently I've opened up my practice to working with men. Mm-hmm. And I've been really pleasantly surprised at how many of the men, when I tell them what my rates are, they're like, oh, is that all? I thought you'd be at least double that. I'm like, happy to charge you more. Like, I have no problem with that. And yet, because I've been working with women all this time, there's been some pushback. And now I want a bit of pushback because I want them to actually stretch and grow beyond. It can't be too comfortable, right? If it's too comfortable, they're not going to stretch.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the men they don't have the same bugaboos. And I think this is where women in business have a big gap in the wage. We talk about the gender gap in the work world. where women are making what, 70 cents on the dollar on average, somewhere around there.
Yeah. The laws have done what they can to
They
back
have.
us up. Mm-hmm.
And that's brought it up, it's definitely up. But I find in business, in particular in the coaching industry, so women will come in and they'll typically first of all, they do the per hour rate. And so they're like, well, I'll just charge $100 an hour. That's really good money. Not realizing the scope of what you have to do, all the things you're going to, do for them extra. And then you give away way too much and you're working like crazy just ends meet. Men come along and go, okay, I probably only want 5 clients. I'm going to want to make 10K. So that means they're each going to have to pay me $2,000 a month.
Done.
And then they start out.
Made.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right out of the gate. Whether they have experience or not have experience, they're like $2,000 because that's what I want to make.
Yeah.
And like, it's not based on what value do I provide. Some of them do, but like for a lot of them, it's not about that. It's just how much I want to make.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's awesome.
There are some great things that we can learn, and growing up kind of a tomboy, I really enjoyed that about guys. I enjoyed that they just went in and did it, and there wasn't any kind of fluff. There wasn't a whole bunch of emotional stuff. They just went in and said, I'm going to see if this works, and they just did it. And we could learn a few things from that, but dominatrices are kind of the same way. We don't ask permission before we want to try something in the dungeon. We just do it. And I think that that's something that we can definitely share. But not the whole thing.
Yeah.
But definitely the attitude of, let's go in, let's play with this. Let's not be afraid. Let's not be afraid to fail. Women are afraid to fail on a huge scale.
And yet, all of my quote unquote failures have been my greatest gifts.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. Or they've led to something incredible that you just couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Even losing $500,000 in business was a gift. Didn't necessarily feel like a gift at the time.
At the time, it never does.
But I did have the awareness. Thankfully, I did have the awareness. I'm like, every time I land on my feet, so whatever this is, I'm going to land on my feet, and it's always better than before. And it has been.
Wow. So, yeah, you just had a first 10K month, and now you're going to bring that knowledge, those skills, confidence. That's where it comes from. It comes from that having a set point that you actually believe that you're worthy of these things. And knowledge and skill.
No, I always get triggered by the worthy word just because it's an unattainable piece. You can never be worthy. Like, how do you determine if you're worthy?
Because I want it.
Well, okay. You're from the dominatrix side. It's like, of course I'm worthy. Damn it. I choose that. For most people, worthy is a judgment. Because how do you determine that you're actually worthy?
Yeah.
Right.
I guess if you didn't feel that way, I guess if you didn't feel that way, or if you questioned that, your worthiness of something.
Yeah. Because a lot of people are striving to be worthy, or they're waiting until they're worthy. Right? They're
waiting. Wow.
They're waiting to charge the big bucks until they're worthy.
Yeah.
Right? That's where I go with it. I'm like, oh, I hate that word because.
Okay. You probably, you hear that quite a bit, the worthy one.
Yeah. People saying, charge what you're worth. I'm like, oh man, I just want to gag on that one. Just, what is that? What number is that? Can you tell me?
Yeah.
No. Okay,
that is so funny. Yeah. Well, I come from the marketplace where, you're worth what people are willing to pay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that all comes from what you're willing to charge and what you're ready to step into.
Yeah. And that's where worthy should be, as opposed to where I'm like, I hate that word.
Yeah. Well, words have different meanings for different people, different subtexts and undertones. And that worthy does have, it spans the, there's a big span about where worthy sits on the religious scale, and then on,
Oh, yeah.
And then in business and self-help and wow.
Yeah. So this is great. We get like diversity, right? This is where you and I being a little different gives
definitely
two
have
different perspectives.
exactly on the word worthy, on just one word.
One
word, right? One word.
This is like tiny little segment.
Yeah, but I mean, and that's an important aspect too, is to know that, there isn't just one path. There isn't just one way to look at all of this. And that's the point, is that you are finding your own unique path into this confidence and into this, bulletproof self, into a bulletproof understanding of who you are and that you are ready for the next level, whatever that is for you in your life, however you define success.
Yeah. Love it. All right. Did you have one more hack, or did we cover your hack?
I have a lot more hacks. I love hacks. So.
Let's give them, just before we give them the last hack, let's tell them about the Bulletproof Confidence Weekend.
Okay, that sounds great.
Because we've been teasing them with this. So.
We have.
Mm-hmm. So, of course, we have coming up this month, September 23rd and 24th in your backyard.
That's going to be in Virginia Beach. Yes, we have Bulletproof Confidence coming to Virginia Beach. This is incredible, and we're setting it up in a really cool spot of town center. So it's just the whole atmosphere of the place is buzzing. And then we're going to be having the Bulletproof Confidence there 2 days, 2 dominatrices, 2 life coaches. We are going to be filling you with so much solid confidence and getting to really the core of who you are and how strong you actually already are, and then amping that up.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
It is.
And then in October, you're going to come up to Toronto, my backyard.
Right. I'm very excited.
Yes. So we're going to be by the airport, so it's nice and convenient. You can fly in and be right at the hotel there, the Sandman Hotel. And same thing, we're going to do the same material. It'll be slightly different because, the people are going to be different, but same idea, getting you wrapped right into that confidence so that it's in your DNA by the time you leave. That's my goal.
Absolutely. And one of the things we didn't talk about was just the community and the support. Just 2 days of being fully supported by other people, that can change your life. To feel like you actually have people on your side rooting for your success. That's an incredible shift.
Yeah, and being in person with something. I mean, I know there's so much available online. You can watch videos, you can be watching like this, right? But do you implement? Do you actually implement? When you go to an event, you stop what you're doing and you actually drop in and connect. And that's the power. That's when things shift and change in a massive way. So showing up live is such a gift. It's such an investment for you. And I don't know about you, but I really feel like people are going to get at least 5 times the return on investment for this.
Absolutely. When you think about, just asking for one more sale would cover it. Just being able to step up and ask for 5% more, 10% more, 20% more when you're ready. And after this weekend, how could you not be? Just infused with confidence and taking away some incredible tools that you can use. It doesn't just end after the weekend. After the weekend, you get that huge up level. And then you have the tools to continue growing consistently. And it's that compounded return that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Plus, you've got follow-up sessions. So you're doing a follow-up session, and I'm doing a follow-up session with each participant. So this, the impact is going to be huge. Okay. I'm so excited.
We get so excited talking about it. I know.
We're like, get your seat in there. Get your seat now, because we're so excited.
Yeah.
I can see big shifts for people, and for all the things that you can do. Confidence should be the first thing on your list when it comes to being in business or finding a partner or anything. You want to be feeling that confidence authentically. So I don't know, maybe I'm a little biased, but I think this should be top of the list.
Yeah. And, I wouldn't have put it top of the list before being a dominatrix. But after I got the confidence and now I realize, oh my God, if I had had this all along, I can't imagine.
Right.
And now I can't imagine letting people put it off another day. I mean,
Right.
really need this now, especially if you have long-term goals, if you have big goals coming up in a year. And, New Year's resolutions are right around the corner. And if you really are ready to hit it hard next year and to finish off this year bright, this is the way to do it. This is the way to do it.
Absolutely. Ooh, going to be epic.
I know. It's very exciting. So let's give them one more hack. One more hack.
All right.
All right. Okay. So one of the things, and this is a big one, one of the things that really surprised me when I started being a dominatrix is that in the dungeon, I wasn't allowed to say, I'm sorry. I wasn't allowed to apologize, and I could not wrap my mind around it because as women, we are driven by relationships, right? Everything is about the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So we learn very quickly to say, I'm sorry. In fact, we don't just learn it, it's drilled into our heads. And we are taught that people who don't say, I'm sorry, are bad people. And, all of these things straight from childhood, So when I walk into the dungeon and I see her I see my mentor make a mistake and she says nothing. And later on, I asked her, I was like, how come you didn't, say I'm sorry or apologize? She's like, no, we're never wrong in there. We are never wrong in there. And while it doesn't go to that extreme on the outside, you can start to question every time you feel like you want to say you're sorry. Is it really something that you're sorry for or that you need to be sorry for? Because as we're growing through life, we're bound to make mistakes. Perfection isn't expected of you. So do you really need to be sorry as much as you are? So the only little confidence hack is every time you feel the need to say, I'm sorry, instead of actually saying, I'm sorry, how about saying thank you? So if you're late, instead of saying, I'm sorry, you can say, hey, thank you for waiting. Or if you've made a mistake at work, thank you for your patience with me. Anything like that. Instead of saying I'm sorry and automatically putting yourself in a submissive position in a relationship, and it's all about the relationships, right?
Yep.
Yeah. How about saying thank you instead, or switching that a little, or just questioning it in your own mind? Are you really in the wrong? Is this something that's really worthy of saying I'm sorry for? Plus, I'll give you another thing, and it's hurting me to say I'm sorry this many times, and I'll tell you why. There's a subconscious thing there that's happening when you say those specific words. Think about somebody who you consider as a sorry person.
Ugh.
And now you're saying, and even though you don't mean it this way, your subconscious is picking it up. When you are saying, I am sorry, you, in effect, are saying that you apologize, but you're also saying that you're a sorry person. And you're saying that to your subconscious. And it's picking that up as a cue that you are less than. So any other ways that you can refrain from saying that? Now, when you've actually made a huge error, when, I'm not saying never say it, but just pull back the amount of times that you say it, because it really does mean a lot more than we might perceive it to mean just, on a conscious level.
I love that. That is so true, because we don't want to associate ourselves subconsciously and turn ourselves into that pathetic doormat. That's not going to elevate our confidence. And moving it over to thank you, huge difference. Or just nothing.
Not saying anything. Yeah.
And if you're a Canadian woman, it's even harder because, we have a double whammy here.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah.
It's ingrained. And, people are, I have to say, so one of my fun things to do is if I'm in a feisty mood, I will go to the grocery store and I intentionally bump into people.
To see if they'll.
To see their reaction. they always apologize.
Yeah.
And sometimes I will say something. It's like, I bumped into you and you're apologizing.
Yeah.
Just to make them think, right?
And that's it. And that's what we want you to do, is question that. Are you really that wrong all the time? You're not.
And
You're
there's no
just
such thing as
not.
right or wrong anyway.
Obviously, we're going to be taking things to another level.
For sure. Like, we're scratching the
Yeah.
surface. I can't wait to dig in. Okay.
Yeah,
So
but we've given you a lot to think about. Lots to think
huge.
about.
If you apply these 3 hacks that we've given you today, and really, if you actually listen to the video, there's even more little things that we've put in. There's far more than the 3. I think probably if I listen to it, there's probably more like 10 that we've put in.
Yeah, we've actually added quite a few.
We just can't hold back. We're
We can't help it.
We're like that. Can't help it. But if you start applying those, use them. And then if you're finding that you get the traction, you think if you're getting like a tiny bit of traction on your own, 100 times that is what you're going to get in the Bulletproof Confidence Weekend.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's a no-brainer. You will easily get 5 times your return back, if not more. I'm thinking 5 times the return before the end of 2017, and then it will only exponential from there.
Yes.
So
yes.
What are you waiting for? Get a seat.
Come on, either one. Virginia Beach, Toronto. Heck, but go to both of them.
Go to both. Oh, yeah. Even better. Like super up level.
I know.
Go to Virginia Beach and then go to Toronto right after.
Join us both. Get that really ingrained. But this is important. This is important for your life.
Mm-hmm.
If you've been looking to take things to the next level, if you've been doing programs and you've been reading self-help and you've been making little changes, it's time to really turn it up. It's time to really turn it up, and you need to be in person to do that. You really do. You need a mentor in person happening live.
Mm-hmm. All right. We will see you there.
Bulletproof Confidence, Virginia Beach, Toronto, or both.
Woo-hoo.
See you there.